Good morning. My name is Ron Partain. I'm a pharmacist. I'm board certified as a clinical nutritionist, and I've been doing nutrition things since probably about 1986. And over the time period of doing that, I've worked with chelation products often, many things. Some of them I worked on and personally put some products together for people. But I have a list of questions here. Rather than try to present something, I want to say I got probably maybe 6 or 8 questions that are questions I've been asking for and seem to be questions that come up over and over. So I'm going to talk a little bit about those. So I don't have a prepared presentation here. I'm just going to kind of talk off the cuff. What is good about chelation cream, using a chelation cream? Well, as a pharmacist and as a nutritionist, over the years I see people all the time, and I can tell you, we can talk all the theory we want to talk, and we can talk this and we can talk that. Everybody's smart talk about it, but what it really means something is when the guy leaves your business, leaves your pharmacy, and goes home on Monday. What is he going to be able to do? It has to be something that's simple and easy to do. So I can tell you, in my years of doing this is a wonderful, easy product to use, this cream. This is wonderful. The other thing I say to moms, and moms are the ones that I talk to a lot because they seem to be the doctor in the family. They're the ones that are taking care of the kids and getting everybody to the doctor and getting medicines and that sort of thing. And I say, Mom, this is easy. You can use this chelation cream on your children. You put them to bed, put a little bit on on their legs. You can lower the dose since it's cream. You're not in a fixed dose. You can give a little bit of that cream, or you can give a lot of the cream. If somebody like myself, I use quite a bit of it, but you don't have to do that. So this is easy to use. It's effective. We have several people, and one of our doctor friends in Chicago did a test on himself. He wanted to know, is this effective? So he did a test on himself and kind of get to the bottom line. He proved it works, and we have some of our staff that maybe had no idea about chelation and never had any proof of it. I have over the years, probably 30 years, I've been dealing with chelation and knows that it works. But here's people that actually saw the test results, saw the lab reports before, what the person's lab values were. They used the chelation cream. They used it for a couple of months. They tested themselves again, and these numbers were less than these numbers. It shows that this chelation was taking things out of the body. Now, another part of that is, if you understand it, and I'm not saying you should, but if you understand chelation therapy, chelation is one of those things that just grabs stuff. And it has a penchant for metals. Now, again, if you know a little bit about this, there's a lot of metals in our body that we should keep in our body. One of them is magnesium, zinc, copper, many different ones we should keep in the body because they're part of enzyme systems that make the body go. So chelation will remove some of those as well as arsenic. So what do? We want to be sure that we replace those on a daily basis when you're using chelation. It's easy to use, as I mentioned. You can just squirt some on somebody and rub it in. It's easy to use, and you can just do it when putting the kids to bed, when you're giving them they're putting on their pajamas or whatever. How long shall we use this medication? Well, use it as forever, and you can cycle it. We think it's a good idea to cycle it, so you can start maybe initially. You can use it more often. Then later on, you can use it less often, and then maybe on the maintenance phase, you can just use it like a couple times a week. So you can customize this to however you want to do it. But the idea is you're going to be using something like this chelation cream, forever, for a long time. That's just like your nightly, brushing your teeth, or that's like your nightly whatever you're doing. And so yeah, you're going to get the results, and you're going to use it forever. Okay. Again, I mentioned you need to add a multi-mineral while using Detoxacream, and also because what we want to do is keep the body moving, keep the flow of fluids through the body. We want to be sure you're drinking a good amount of water. Just drink more water. And what I would recommend, you drink the water in the morning, You can do it at bedtime. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you remember right from your history, if you're kind of a detox buff, when does the body detox? The body detoxes between 11 o'clock at night and about 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. So it's okay. If you don't mind getting up to pee, then I recommend you take a big 12 to 18 ounces or 16 ounces of water at bedtime. Or if you get up during the night and you have to pee, take some more water. You can do that. And this is something you need, again, do I need to do this multiple times, or can I just do it just once? No, you need to do it all the time. And why that is because you're exposed to these metals all the time. It's in our environment. Can you do some things to reduce that exposure? Yeah. You know, one of the things you can do, believe it or not, I know this sounds kind of drastic, but if you live near a freeway, you need to do your best to move away from the freeway. Get away from there and get away from places. Look around in some of these industrial areas. If you're downwind from some of these areas, you need to do your best to move out of those areas. Stay someplace where you have a lot of wind blowing. I live in a place and grew up in a place where the wind blows all the time. In fact, they used to call it Blowmont. People used to, oh gosh, you live in Blowmont. Well, I can tell you that the good thing about living in Blowmont is because the wind is always coming. It's always moving the air. The air is never stagnant. You've got all these things that are in the air, and the air moves those things out, and we send them to the people in other states. But yeah, you need to keep it. The thing I would say just kind of keep in mind is it's easy to use, not a big deal. It comes in a tube or something like this. You can use it like that. It's effective and it's safe for just about anybody. So you say, well, how young? I would say probably the age of 5, something like that. But you can minimize the dose. The thing too, if you're concerned about thinking about EDTA being something that you might not want to give somebody, look at all the foods you're eating. Look at the foods and the things that you pick up at the grocery store that are for your kids. You take a look at that label, and you know what that label says? EDTA is in those products. What are they in there for? It's in there for balancing and keeping the pH right. It's in there for antioxidant benefits. It's in there as a stabilizer. So it has a lot of uses. One of the questions I ask is, a person may say, is this going to help my cardiovascular function? We believe it will. We believe it will because it's going to improve the inside of the blood vessels. The more healthy those inside of the blood vessels are, and the more they function naturally, and the healthier it's going to be. So, one of the things that I've heard many times over the years of talking to men about this, and not every guy does this, but I've heard enough of it, probably 30-40% of the time, a guy will come to me kind of off the QT and say, gosh, Ron, he said, I woke up this morning, I haven't had an erection in the morning in years. I woke up this morning with an erection. Well, we know that. And one of the things that we know, and people that do natural kind of medicine know, that having good cardiovascular function to be demonstrated by having erections in the morning or other time of the day on demand or whatever, but if you have good erections, we know that's like the canary in the coal mine, because we know that if you have good function in the pelvic girdle and you have good firm erections, we know that translates to your whole body. You have better cardiovascular health throughout your whole body when you have good function in the pelvic girdle. There's 3 or 4 different areas that's kind of separating the body, but that's it. That's a very good one. The other thing we might talk about maybe another time would be progesterone. We're going to be dealing with that, but we'll talk about that later. So thank you. Hope this has been a help to you.